Our region's business is sponsored by PNC for the achiever in you. Our region's business, improving our economy, creating jobs, and strengthening communities. Innovation, collaboration, transformation, and the people making it happen. Join us as we take a closer look at our region's business. Now, here's your host, Bill Flanagan.
Today on Our Region's Business, Leadership Pittsburgh is preparing to turn the community of Carrick inside out with its latest pop-up project. And if you're wishing for a vacation on Mars, you don't have to wait for the rocket ship. Butler County's got a big celebration planned, and it's just days away. But first, Visit Pittsburgh is coming off one of those hard-to-top years when it comes to tourism and convention business, including the National League of Cities Conference and the U.S. Open Golf Tournament. But 2016 was also a busy year when it comes to booking future business, which should pay some dividends in the years to come. And Craig Davis is back with us. He's president and CEO of Visit Pittsburgh. Welcome back. Good to see you again.
Thanks so much, Bill.
Yeah, you had a great year last year. That was one of those blockbuster perfect storm sort of years. One big convention conference after another kind of all year long.
Right, and it was closed out with the National League of Cities, which thankfully our mayor, Bill Peduto, brought to us almost from the moment that he became mayor. And that was a really big win in a month of November, when it's typically not a big convention month for us. So it was a really great way to cap off of a great year.
Yeah, so capping off a great year, but that means it just gets tougher the year after that, sort of to top that kind of performance. Yeah. So how has 2017 been shaping up?
Well, 2017 is a very good year. It does not have the big conventions that 16 had, but we have more business on the books. It's just in smaller increments spread further around. So this year, we are, of course, bringing our friends the Furries back.
Okay, well, they love Pittsburgh. They come every year, yeah.
And we're going to be bringing a number of NCAA events into the city, into the region from 2018 to 2022.
So that's business that was kind of booked last year and confirmed, but this shows the benefit. A lot of the work you guys do is really multi-year ripple effects in terms of how it impacts the economy. But the sports thing is really interesting. This is quite an arrangement with the NCAA. What's that all about?
Well, you know, we have worked very closely with, it ended up by being 9 local educational institutions in their athletic departments to bring in Division 1, 2, and 3 NCAA events into our region in years to come. And it was a labor of a lot of different people coming together, working with our elected officials, our city and county leaders, and we were able to outdo any other city that bid for NCAA business in this particular cycle. So we really won big.
Wow, that's great. So what kinds of things are coming?
Well, we have in Division 1, we have men's basketball.
Wow, okay.
Women's volleyball. We have men's wrestling. And we have the Frozen Four returning in 2022. So that was a perennial favorite, and it's back in Pittsburgh again.
This has been a real emphasis of Visit Pittsburgh in recent years, because Pittsburgh has a lot to offer when it comes to these kinds of, especially the amateur sporting events, right?
Well, you know, Pittsburgh is synonymous with sports. We all know that. But recently, you know, when we have the great places within which to play the sports, you know, we use PPG Paints Arena as an example, but we also have the Plumbo Center. We also have the Peterson Center. There are so many different places that we can actually stage these events. The Convention Center is actually an excellent place to hold a sporting event. So we're really using our assets, but we did things a little bit differently this year. We got a lot more help. We engaged our community, and it paid off big in dividends. So this is something that, as you said before, you begin in with these wins. These wins are expected, so we plan to grow it.
That's really exciting. Other thing growing, another kind of surprising news, you got China running charter operations to our region. Yeah.
Well, we capped off the WOW Airlines and the Condor Airlines
coming
from
Reykjavik.
Iceland.
We got Frankfurt, Condor.
And now why not China?
I guess why not go around the world? Right?
So thank goodness for Christina Casotis at the airport and her staff. They really showed us the way to trying to develop some more international business. And literally the face of Pittsburgh is going to change in the coming years, because with these international flights coming from, we just said, a couple places in Europe, you're also going to see, in addition, this coming September, of 3 charter flights coming from China. We don't yet know the city that they're coming from, but we'll be bringing in Chinese tourists in the month of October.
So why us? Are these people that have already done New York and Washington, D.C.?
They probably are. Or they're people who want to come to the United States, and they may have a bit of a different price point than the ones that want to go to the Los Angeleses or the Miamis or the New Yorks. But there are billions of people in China, and the United States has always been a draw for them. So Pittsburgh does fit into this. They want Americana, and that's what we're selling them.
Now this becomes a real change. We have not had a lot of that sort of wholesale international tourism coming in here.
No, it really is. And we're preparing for it by, Visit Pittsburgh, along with some community partners, are going to work to train people on cross-cultural communication, much the same way we did on a smaller scale when we welcomed the G20 back in 2009.
Well, I remember that you all led a very aggressive effort to try to train, or at least sensitize the hospitality staff pretty much throughout downtown Pittsburgh ahead of the G20.
But what we sell is friendliness and welcomingness. Pittsburgh is friendly in every language. We're welcoming in every language. Our city is, despite what Pittsburghers think, it's very easy to traverse because it's a small pad, and we have great food, we have safety, we have great products. And as I said, the Americana experience is what they're really craving, and we can provide that.
That's really fun. It's pretty amazing. We kind of glanced over the other 2 international flights going to Frankfurt and to Reykjavik and points beyond this spring. But it really reflects, I would think, that international tourism is becoming a more serious opportunity for our region because of these international connections than it's been in years.
Well, it has to, because these planes are going back and forth, and we know, and I'm encouraging every Pittsburgher to use these flights to go abroad, because especially the case of WOW, the service is incredible. The prices cannot be beat. So you can get to Europe for a lot less than you think. And similarly, we're going to have to sell Pittsburgh to Europe and bring them back in again. That will be the only way that this will really work to both sides. So we're really actually ramping up to make sure that we sell and market this region to Europeans. And we're actually doing the research now to find out who would have the best propensity to use Pittsburgh. A lot of the countries, there's a real tie with Pittsburgh and with our culture, and we're going to exploit that.
Really exciting. Real quick, we only have a few seconds left, but I got to ask you, Penguins made it to the playoffs again this year. What does that mean in terms of business and economic activity here in town when they have a home game?
Well, when the Penguins have a home game, it is north of $4 million. So last year's entire run was north of $50 million, and it can be more this year if they make it all the way.
All right, go Pens, not just for the Cup, but also for the economic benefit to the region, right?
Absolutely.
Craig Davis from Visit Pittsburgh. Thanks so much. Good to see you again. Yeah, appreciate it. Next up, we're taking off for Mars, and an unusual event in southern Butler County that's turning kids onto outer space and STEM careers. Stay with us.